She was raped, killed, and set on fire. And her own mother was the prime suspect.
I've been involved in the criminal law for over 30 years, and this is the most inhumane case I think I've come across.
Michelle Martins told the police that her daughter was raped and that she had to witness her being abused and then killed. However, it was soon discovered that her version of events could not be true, causing the investigation to take a turn that would lead them to uncover the horrifying truth of one of the most brutal crimes in New Mexico's history.
There was no meth in her system, and that was something that I thought was unusual because the mother had said that they gave her meth, and they kept, investigating and investigating. January rolls around, there's a new district attorney, and he brings in some very seasoned detectives to review the case. They're looking at all the cell phone data and all the, any technology that they have there. And then it turns out as the evidence comes back, it's not matching what she's saying. So as the investigation continues, they figure out she gave what is called a false confession.
Initially, the whole investigation had been based on the mother's testimony. But now that they knew that much of what she had said was a lie, they had to start from scratch.
It was completely made up. And so they went down, the investigators went down this road based on what the mother had told them, and that road turned out to be a complete dead end.
The police thought they knew that Michelle, her boyfriend Fabian Gonzalez, and her boyfriend's cousin Jessica Kelly had been at the scene with little Victoria the night she died. So all three were suspects, but they were unable to identify what role each had played, so it was decided that they would be trialed separately.
You have to separate them so that the third defendant gets a fair trial and is not prejudiced by testimony by the other defendant or the other two defendants.
The testimonies of the three suspects were questionable. In all cases, their credibility was doubted, and on more than one occasion, it was even proven that they were not telling the truth. However, after an arduous investigation, the following conclusions were reached.
First, although there is evidence that Victoria Martins was sexually assaulted at or near the time of her death, there is no physical evidence linking Fabian Gonzalez to that specific crime, and no independent forensic evidence that Michelle Martins knowingly permitted her daughter to be sexually assaulted on that day or at any other time. Second, multiple eyewitness statements and extensive forensic analysis of cell phone location data confirm that neither Michelle Martins nor Fabian Gonzalez were present in the apartment at the time of the rape and murder. Third, exhaustive DNA testing by the state lab has confirmed that although male DNA was recovered from Victoria's body, the lab was able to exclude Fabian Gonzalez.
There was no evidence that any of the three was the and now it was considered that a fourth person could be involved, whose identity was completely unknown. However, the trials continued as they were still accused of indirectly participating in and attempting to dispose of the body of the 10-year-old girl.
I think it should be a wake-up call if you're a single parent and you invite strangers into your home when you have kids. Michelle Martins, Victoria's mother, she had met Fabian Gonzalez on a dating website. She didn't know him very long. He has an arrest record. She lets him move into her apartment with her two children, her daughter and her little boy. Soon thereafter, his cousin gets out of prison and he says, hey, my cousin's going to come live with us too. So she allows two people that she does not know very well to live with her children.
Michelle Martins pleaded guilty, facing a sentence of up to 15 years in prison, but she hadn't even been there when her daughter was killed.
She was falsely saying she was there. She was falsely saying that she saw things. She was falsely saying that she heard things, and she was saying things believing that she was actually placing blame on other people when in fact she was, but she was also including herself in responsibility.
The first to be sentenced was Jessica Kelly, who received 50 years behind bars for abuse of a minor, resulting in death and tampering with evidence, but took a plea deal to reduce her time. and testified against her cousin Fabian Gonzalez, who at the time of his trial was convicted of all charges against him and sentenced to 37 years in prison. Finally, it was the turn of Michelle Martins, Victoria's mother, who was sentenced to a total of 12 years. After years of investigation, it is still unknown who Victoria Martins' real killer is, and police are still searching for clues to find him or her, while the entire Albuquerque community cries and screams for justice on behalf of the innocent little girl who was tortured and murdered by a monster who remains anonymous.